Hi parents, my name is Bec Woods. I'm the kids pastor at Central, and this year we are doing a parent information video. We know that May is crazy with all of the end of school year events going on, etc. So this way you can watch it when it's convenient for you, and you can also listen to it at double pace. So I'll usually speak pretty fast, but let's get going. We are so thrilled. We have nearly a couple hundred kids coming to kids camp in Arizona this year, and it is so thrilling. The leaders are excited, but we know that with sending your kids away, it can be pretty emotional. Many of you, it's the first time that you have sent your child away, and it's the first time many of our kids have done sleepovers. So we know, I'm a mum of 3 daughters. It was a huge thing for me. And they are your world. And what I can tell you is we will look after them and treasure them and keep them as safe as can be. We've got a lot of protocols in place for their protection, and I'll go through a few of those in a minute, but we get it. And the good thing is there will always be someone you can talk to if you're just having a little freak out. Mums, right? And you just need to have a chat to your kid. We've got an avenue for that. So let me just go through all of the information, all the details you need to know. Now, if something doesn't get answered in this video, I'm going to put in the link below some people that you can reach out to. If it's a small group leader, you can reach out to them, a simple matter. If you need to speak to someone else, you can contact Delaney or Adriana or myself, and we'll be able to answer any questions you may have. But there is always going to be someone that you can communicate with. So May 27th, the Tuesday, just after the public holiday, we need all kids to be on site at 9 a.m. The buses will leave at 10, but it takes a while for kids to get checked in, to get onto the right bus, etc. Please have them there at 9, but do not get them there and drop them off at 7 o'clock. That is not going to work either. We need someone there with them until they are passed off from you onto their small group leader. So when you get there, if you don't have any medication to check in, you are going to go and find your bus. Your small group leader will tell you in advance which bus you are on. They are color coded. We'll have the color flags for blue bus out the front, etc. And so you will go to that bus, and your child will need to check in. You will pass them over to their small group leader. The children will need to put their bags under the bus. We are asking for 1 bag and 1 sleeping bag or bed linen wrapped up in a bag attached to it. Whatever your child brings to camp, they will be responsible to carry. So even if you have a little one, do not send them with an enormous bag that they cannot navigate themselves. The small group leaders are carrying all the extra stuff, etc. So your child has to be able to carry what they bring. So when you get to the bus, you'll check in with the small group leader, give them a last hug, take a photograph, etc. And then you will check them in and put them on the bus. Once the kids are on the bus, they are not allowed to get off. They are locked in there for the next 4 hours. And so that's the standard approach. If you have medication to check in, then you are going to go and look for Tiffany and some of our leaders who will be over near the coffee shop entrance. We will have a banner up saying check in medications, etc. And so you will bring your medicine for your child, whatever they take, and it needs to be in a clear snap seal labeled Ziploc bag and with their name and all of the instructions. Now, below I'm also attaching the medication Google sheet. If your child has medication, we need you to include as much detail as you can and put it there. And then when you hand that over to our medication team, please don't forget to collect it when you pick them up several days later. Every year we're left with all these medications that we just have to throw out. So please remember to collect it at the end as well. So that's the medication. Load luggage, small group leaders. So when the buses will be at the south entrance, which is just near the coffee shop at Central Henderson. So remember, 9 o'clock, we will leave at 10. Now, one thing you will also give to your small group leader is their snack shack, tuck shop, or canteen money. So parents are always like, how much do I send? Do I send $5? Do I send $100? And every year we have parents on both extremes. So here is what we generally recommend. We would say no more than $40 maximum. They can buy snacks at the campsite canteen, drinks, chips, etc. We also have some Central Kids merch specific to camp, which is really fun, lots of fun things. And what we advise is that every day they can spend a couple of dollars. Now, we feed them so well. They do not need to have all this extra food. It is just a luxury. So if finances are tight and you can't send them with any money, that's okay. There's always families who are in that position, so don't worry about that. But we suggest no more than $40. You will hand that over to your small group leader, and on that form it will be, you can designate only spend $2 a day or $5 a day, etc. In addition to that canteen money in a Ziploc bag will also be camp parent notes. So as I've said, this is the first time a lot of our kids have gone away from mum or dad, etc. And it's tough. But you know what does help is every day when their small group leader gives them a little note, and it might just be 1 or 2 lines. You're awesome. I miss you. Can't wait to hear all about it. And, you know, kiss, 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 mum, whatever it is. You will be able to pick up those from your child's environment this very weekend and for the next couple of weeks. So you'll be able to have a month or so to write them, and then you're going to hand them over to the small group leader. But don't tell the kids about it. It's such a lovely surprise when they get parent mail every day. And that I know my daughters, they're 20, 18 and 16, they still have some of the mail that I sent when they were in elementary school. So yeah, be sure to do that. Money. Oh, now on the way up there, it's a fairly long bus ride. There is a restroom on the bus. We've got that covered, but kids need to bring a nut-free lunch for themselves, just for the way up. We provide one for the way home, but they need to take their own snacks and their own lunch on the way up. But don't send them in a big fancy lunchbox. Just put it in a Ziploc bag or a paper bag. And also, one thing they will need this year at camp is their own labeled water bottle. And every year we have so many that are just left and lost and found. So this year we're asking kids to bring their own, because you know how precious they are about drinking out of their own water bottle. So send their own water bottle. Now, we are going to have some available that they can buy from the snack shack at camp if they want, but send them with nut-free lunch and then a water bottle for the journey up. Now, your leaders, most of our leaders have already been reaching out to our families and introducing themselves, letting them know who they are, etc. If you haven't received a call, don't fret. I promise you in the next week or so, someone will reach out to you and give you all the information you need, talking about theme days, activities, who is in the group, etc. Now, the small group leaders will also set up a group me chat. Instead of blowing up your cell phones with text message, they're going to start a group me chat and include all of the parents. They will continually update you with last minute pieces of information. Here's a reminder about the packing list, etc. This is the number bus and this is where our bus will be, etc. And that will also be the main form of communication while they're at camp. So if you need to reach out to them, that is the best way to do it. Every day at 1 or 2 points, they will upload several photos to that group me, because as a parent, you can tell when you look at a photo of your kid, you can tell from the expression on their face if they're happy or not, right? And we want you to be able to see that. So we're going to be making sure that all of our small group leaders are putting up several photos of the kids throughout the day. one thing we do ask is that you are just aware that the leader's job is to look after and manage and love on your kids. And if every parent is sending them 4 or 5 text messages throughout the day, that is taking a lot away from their concentrated time to be with their small group leader. Now, I know as a parent, you want to be in it. You want to know your kid is okay. And if you've got concerns, then you can call me or Adriana. But I am asking that you just give your leader a little bit of time, and if they haven't texted you and shared a photo by 10 a.m., don't worry, they will. But that is going to be the best form of communication. In addition to that, our Instagram page, Central Church Parents, I'll put the link below, that is going to be the best way for you to find out what is going on. We're going to put live streams on there through some of our worship experiences, etc. And that will be the best way for you to see live updates of what is going on. Now, the leaders have reached out to most of you, but just so you know, we did a pretty rigorous application for our leaders this year. We had a lot of leaders that apply that we weren't able to offer a position to. And so our leaders, we really did choose carefully because we wanted leaders that have experience, that have credibility, that have, they've all done their police background check, they have all done their sexual abuse awareness training and camp training. And so we've chosen leaders and tried to put the leaders into the groups that we think are best for your child. And we had hundreds, literally hundreds of kids who wanted to be with this leader and wanted to be with this friend, but this friend wanted to be with this leader. And so we did our jolly best to get as much of your hopes taken care of, as well as navigating who the best leaders for different age groups, etc. are. Now, a couple of rules pertaining to camp. So our leaders are very well informed about what the policies are, etc. Your child will never be alone. They will be with their leader and 6 to 10-ish other kids pretty much the entire time. No child is ever allowed to go to the restroom by themselves. In fact, they're not allowed to go anywhere by themselves. They must always be with a buddy, but they can't just be free ranging. There's no time at kids camp. There is in the older age groups, but at kids camp, kids are never allowed to just free range. And so just know we keep a pretty strict eye on them. There will always be 2 leaders who are in the room with the children at night. Leaders are never in the room when children are getting dressed, etc., vice versa. The restrooms are another matter that we take really carefully. So leaders are never allowed into the restroom where children are. Children have showering times at separate stages to leaders. But every year we have some kids who come and they don't know how to shampoo their hair, etc. Just because it's something that's always sort of been taken care of for them. So if your kid doesn't know how to shampoo their hair and wash properly, you've got a couple of weeks to make sure they can do that. And so one of our rules is that no boy is ever allowed into a girl cabin. No girl is ever allowed into a boy cabin. We go over all these rules very consistently with the kids at camp, but if any child breaks that rule at all, I will be calling you and asking you to come and collect your child. So make sure you communicate that with your kid. Even if they get pumped and want to play a joke, we don't do that. We don't do pranks. We don't do jokes at camp relating to that sort of matter. Another thing is respecting the property. So we don't do streamers, confetti. The gardens and the grounds where we're staying are so beautiful, but they've got a few rules as well, and we need to honor that. Like we need to honor when they've asked us to shut down and, minimize volume, etc. Another thing we have is a 0 tolerance for bullying. And so if your child has been wrestling with that perhaps in the last year, this is a really good time for you just to remind them that we have a zero tolerance for bullying at camp, and that will be a phone call straight away to mum and dad as well. So just prep your kids, and we'll go over all of this. We just want to make sure you're aware of that. Now, if a kid gets sick at camp, thankfully we've got an amazing team. We've got a sick bay for them, and if it's a contagious, well, depending on what it is, we may need to call you to come and collect them, depending on what's going on. But we will do our jolly best to look after them. If they get an injury, a scratch, a cut, we'll look after them. We've got some fantastic people who are trained. Okay, now another rule is just if you can just remind your kids, they must be respectful to the leaders, to other children, and respect where they need to be and at what time. And the underlying goal in all of this is we just want to keep your kids safe, but we also want them to have the most immersive, wonderful experience at camp, and we don't want them cruising around or doing anything, taking too long in their cabin to get changed when the worship experience is starting, etc. Now, pertaining to packing list, we will attach it in this email. It is a great idea to actually have your kids try and pack their own bags. I know my girls pack months in advance, it seems like that. But here's what I will say. You do not need to go out and buy anything at all. You can borrow, etc. But please don't go out and buy all these fancy smancy new clothes, because I'm telling you, they will get super dirty. So dirty. They will come home, some of the clothes have holes, they smell, you may just want to throw them straight out. So go through that packing list, but please don't buy them brand new white sneakers. We're in the mountains. It is dusty and grimy, and so please just be really careful with what you send. Another reminder when you're going through that packing list is just to make sure the kids can carry it. No, we're asking no electronic games. We're in the mountains in Arizona. We are there to have fun, to build relationships, to learn about God. And we don't want kids with their heads in the devices. Certainly they won't be allowed to use them when we've got structured activities. Now, some parents are asking, I really want my kid to have a phone. If you are desperately passionate and determined that your child needs a phone at camp, then you can send that with them, but it is at their own risk. And if something happens to it, that's on them. We can't protect that and look after it all the time. But kids are not going to be allowed to just sit there on their phones when we've got group activities. It just defeats the entire purpose of camp, etc. Again, you'll always be able to contact your leader, but I know that a lot of kids want to take photos, etc. So at the end of the day, that is up to you. No fancy clothes, I've said that. Oh, now, if your child wants to, and we highly encourage them to bring a sleeping bag. If you don't have one, don't go out and buy one. They just send a set of sheets, etc., and a blanket. It can get really cold. It can get really hot, but it can get really cold. So, but all of that, please put it in a garbage bag or squish it into a pillowcase, then label it and attach it to the suitcase or whatever your child's bringing. I know last year we had one child brought this beautiful duvet, and it just ended up under the bus, and under the bus was pretty feral, and so when they came out it was covered in dirt. So please, whatever sleeping things your child are going to use and bring, please put it inside something to keep it safe. Another thing is clothing at camp, nothing revealing from boys and girls. I don't want to see anything that I should not need to. Bellies need to be covered the entire time. I don't want to see shorts that go up too high. And if your child is adamant that everyone will be wearing them, you can tell them that Miss Bec said the answer is no. I have asked kids to go back and change. So just set your kid up by saying These are the rules, same as Clark County School District. And when they're swimming, the same goes for our leaders. Girls, it's a one-piece swimsuit, or if you only have a two-piece, then you're just gonna wear a t-shirt over the top. Boys are wearing a t-shirt as well. Our boys leaders are wearing a t-shirt as well. So that's for the most part. Another thing, I know this is on the packing list, but this is a special request. Please make sure you send your child with deodorant. Yes, deodorant, because it does get very humid, and I will be taking a lot of Febreze, but if you could just help us out, that would be great. And don't forget soap. Every year, loads of kids forget soap. Just soap from the 99-cent store. Doesn't need to be fancy, just soap. Okay, for all the girls that spend hours doing their hair, you need to let them know they won't be able to do that. We don't have an unlimited supply of PowerPoints, and the kids do not have enough time to be spending ages doing their hair. So girls, if that is you, get rid of that. Okay, now some of you have been emailing me saying, I don't know how to pay my final payment. So here's the deal. When you go back into the camp registration page, I'm also attaching it below, you can just click on the camp registration page, click on manage your account. Once you get to manage your account, it will ask for your username and your password, enter that in. For those that have forgotten it, you can click the link and reset your password, etc. Then it will take you to, and you can click on the registration page for your child. And then it will have all the information that you've already entered. Now, if you haven't entered medical information, etc., emergency contact, please go back and do that, or we'll be calling you in the next few weeks anyway, but please make sure that information is up to date. Then you scroll all the way down, go down to the bottom, there will be a yellow tab and it will say outstanding amount, and then on the right side, it says make a payment. This is where you click that, and then you'll be able to make a payment. Now, final payments will be coming out on May 18. I don't want you to get surprised and not be able to pay for your groceries because you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have enough money in that account. So May 18 is the final withdrawal for that payment. Now, if for some reason you've done all those things that I've suggested and you still can't make a final payment or a partial payment, then just come and speak to us, one of our core kids leaders on the weekend, or you can email one of the people in the tab below. Now, emotions. You're gonna have a lot of emotions if this is the first time as the parent you've sent your kid away, but not only that, your kid will have big emotions. Every year we've had kids that are crying, I don't wanna go to camp. They're terrified. It's the first time being away from mum, but you know what? It's often those very same kids who are crying on the return journey when their parents come and pick them up because I've made the best friends of my life. This has been the best week of my life, and they don't want to leave. So just give them a little bit of time to adjust. Our leaders will be in contact with you, but there's a lot of big emotions, and we will help navigate them through those emotions at camp, and you'll be able to talk to them anyway. But when you collect them at the end, we'll have an overview of some of the things we suggest anyway. Some of the kids, when they come home, I know I've got one child, she's always and wants to tell me everything. My other daughter, I know last year, she just didn't want to talk. She just wanted to go home and sleep. And then after she had sort of resurfaced, she wanted to debrief and tell us all about it. So kids are different. Group me, ongoing. Now, here's what I will say. You've got my email and I'll put it below, but anytime through camp, if you need to contact me, you have my cell, you have my email, and you'll be able to do that. Now, food. Some of you have been asking about food. The food is awesome. It is awesome. And it is enough to keep them going. They do not need snacks throughout the day, though we may have a few surprises in store, but it is enough. We will include and attach, we'll probably send it through the small group leaders, the food list. We do not have the facility to cater to everyone's unique food persuasions. So there is always going to be something your child can eat. So there's always fruit available, etc. When you are sending, some of you will send snacks with your child to camp, which is wonderful. But here's what I will say. We had one child last year who ate 3 bags of those flaming hot Takis on the way out to camp and spent the next 24 hours in sick bay because her stomach was inflamed and she was throwing up. So please be smart with what you send your kids to camp pertaining to snacks. We ask that you don't send them with any Red Bulls or caffeinated drinks. They're kids, they don't need it, they'll be fine. And they'll be so tired at the end of the night that they will crash anyway. Okay, so some of the activities they will be able to do. We have this amazing zip line, and it is incredible. I know last year one kid came back as he tried to do the zip line the year before and freaked out, and then he came back and last year he did it and he conquered his fear and his parents were so proud. We'll record all these moments for you, but the zip line is beautiful. It's down a valley through the trees. It's so beautiful. No child will be forced to do anything that they do not want to do. So if your child has a fear of heights, well, maybe they want to conquer that fear, but we will never force them to go up there. So don't worry about that. We've also got archery, and there are actual ground staff there who train the kids how to use them properly. We have field games, which is so much fun, especially when it's boiling hot. We have rock climbing. There's also a swimming pool, which kids can only use at designated times. We have a limit of how many kids can go in that pool. But there's also a lifesaver there who is on duty whenever our kids are in the pool. In addition to that, our leaders are always standing guard, looking out for kids anyway. Now, on your registration form, you will have filled in if your child is a competent swimmer or not. Please do be realistic in this. If you tell us, yeah, they're fantastic in the pool, and yet that is not true, it makes it dangerous for them, and our job is to keep them safe. So if your child is not a very competent swimmer, or if they are anxious about it, please modify your registration information about that, but also make sure your small group leader is aware of that, and we can compensate for that and put things in place. Now, the theme days, whoop, whoop. So parents are always excited about this. So the first day is free dress. The kids are on the bus most of the day. We've got worship service at night and some fun things happening in the day, but just let them wear whatever is comfortable. Often kids want to wear something aligned with what color team they're on, red, blue, green, or yellow. And so that's fine, but just make sure it's comfortable. Now, please don't send them in flip-flops. Please put them, sneakers are the best bet for camp. They really, really are, with socks so they don't smell. So day 2 is neon day. We also have our glow party, our neon party at night, which is super fun. So anything you've got that's neon would be great. Often thrift stores are a great spot to find just, a fluoro top, etc. The next day is team day. So some small group leaders have already started planning this. That might be, a movie character or a theme, or it might be tropical. It is completely up to the teams as to what they are going to dress up as. Remember, this is not mandatory, this is optional, but they will be in communication with you, your small group leader, about what the team theme day is. And then the 4th day is color day. So anything red, blue, green, or yellow, whatever you've got, they can wear that. We often have, face paint and tattoos, etc., a bit of hairspray. So so we'll have something for them even if they don't have anything. Now, when they return on Saturday the 31st, we will be leaving after breakfast. So they'll have breakfast, they'll have lunch on the bus. We will pack their lunch for them. It's already packaged, and they've got their own drink bottles, which they'll be able to fill up. And then the small group leaders will contact you about 30 minutes before we get back to Central. So when we get to Hoover Dam, we will text you, but we are asking you to be at Central between 2 and 2:30. Now, last year we got home, we're waiting, and one mum was still in the middle of the hairdressers. So we're giving you so much advance notice. Please have someone there. Your kids will be desperate to see you and probably debrief and get a hug. So please be there when the bus gets there. The kids will stay on the bus until you check them off. Remember to collect your medication too. But we'll let you know when they're coming. Any lost and found will be located in Gear Zone at the Henderson location for 2 weeks after that. After that 2 weeks, it will be donated to a thrift store. So please reach out and give us a call if your kid is missing anything. And also collect that medicine. Okay, I think that's everything. So please reach out. If there's any questions that I haven't covered, please reach out to us and ask them. Remember that we're going to be in constant communication with you while your kid is at camp. We try and get a photo of every kid onto our socials during each day, so be aware of that. But one thing I'm asking of you is that you would just pray for the kids and you would pray for our leaders. You know, every single year, our small group kids, our kids at camp, make a decision to follow Jesus, or they take their next step in following him. In fact, a couple of years ago, one kid came to camp, gave his heart to Jesus, and was such a changed kid that his biological dad, his dad, saw such a life change in this kid over the next couple of months that his dad decided to go back to church. So what kids make a decision about at camp to follow Jesus, to change, to become more like Jesus, to follow Jesus? These changes have long-lasting and profound effects. And so if you can just be praying for our leaders that they will hear the Holy Spirit and guide these conversations with the kids, be praying for safety and protection around the campsite and with the kids, and that beautiful relationships and friendships would occur, and that the Holy Spirit would speak to the heart and soul of every kid at camp. We are so grateful that you have chosen to say yes and entrust your precious kiddos to us for a week. We're going to love them, and I can't wait to see you on camp day. Bye now.